Coming up next, we have Aleinikoff with Immigrant New York. Alex?
Okay, so for more than 400 years, New York City has welcomed immigrants. The Dutch arrived first, establishing New York as a city based on commerce, tolerance, diversity, and not religious orthodoxy, followed by Irish and German immigrants in the 19th century. Jewish and Italian immigrants arrived in large numbers in the late 1800s and early 1900s, and more than 12 million people passed through Ellis Island. The establishment of the national origin quota system in the 1920s brought to a halt the movement of Southern and Eastern Europeans, but then New York received large waves of Puerto Ricans, of course, U.S. citizens. In 1965, President Johnson signed legislation at the foot of the Statue of Liberty, which ended the national origin quota system and opened up new avenues of migration to New York. Migration to New York returned, as you can see from the chart, is now at levels that approaches what was true at the turn of the 20th century. More than 1 out of 3 New Yorkers today is foreign-born. This post-1965 flow has come from Latin America, the Caribbean, China, South Asia, and Africa. And unlike most U.S. cities, no source country dominates the flow of immigrants to New York, and it's produced remarkable diversity within the city. It's also brought to New York baseball stars like Mariano Rivera and fashion icons like Diane von Furstenberg. The Zolberg Institute is sponsoring a course this semester for undergraduates called Immigrant New York, and it's a class in which we study the history and the sociology of immigration to New York, and students are placed with community-based organizations. Here's a list of some of them that work in immigrant communities. The Statue of Liberty has welcomed New Yorkers for more than a century. And at a time of harsh and intolerant policies at the federal level, it's cities, and New York foremost among them, that tell a different story and recognizes the contributions that immigrants make to the dynamism and the diversity of the nation. So the Statue of Liberty both welcomes people in and symbolizes the way in which immigration connects us to the rest of the world. Thank you.